I am an experimental voice performer from Puerto Rico. I am residing in Houston, Texas since 2005 with my son Nicholas. For the past 4 decades, I have embarked on a creative journey in the experimental arts, exploring the limitless possibilities of the human voice. My most recent project is RÉQUIEM. The project RÉQUIEM emerges from the need of Puerto Ricans residing both in the island and in Houston to express the profound sense of loss that our community had suffered for the past decade by political and climate reasons mostly, but also after the pandemic. The beauty of RÉQUIEM lies in its inclusivity, as participants are encouraged to freely create their voice expressions, irrespective of their musical background, and free from judgment. This is HOUricán, documenting the project RÉQUIEM. One discussion that stands out in my memory during the lab-based experience of RÉQUIEM in Houston, Texas, is a passionate and intense conversation about tolerance of differences. It took me by surprise when some individuals in the group expressed an aversion to the term. It puzzled me until I realized that the translation of tolerance of differences in Spanish held a different connotation than its meaning in English. We realized that we were not agreeing in the semantics, but that our beliefs and attitudes were the same. It was just a problem of translation.
My name is Juan Cardoza Oquendo. I was born in Princeton, New Jersey. My parents are from Puerto Rico, from San Juan. I've lived here in Houston for the last 5 years. It's funny, in Dallas I got to meet, a couple of Puerto Ricans here and there, but Houston has really been the place where I've gotten to meet a larger Puerto Rican community. Like everybody in Puerto Rico, my family was affected. They didn't have power. The hurricane hit late September. They didn't get power back till around Christmas time. But still, it still affected them physically, emotionally, psychologically. In terms of my involvement, so I was in grad school at the time in Austin. I helped collect supplies to send over to Puerto Rico. One of my friends actually had a research project in Puerto Rico, and she delivered some battery-powered fans for my aunt. Batteries, which were really hard to come by, and that's how I was involved. My husband, who's from Puerto Rico, grew up there. He works for Southwest Airlines, and he actually helped organize plane loads of supplies for Puerto Rico back in that time. It's funny, right when I moved to Houston in 2018, so it's a year after Harvey and a year after Maria. And, my understanding of Houston was marked by the experience of Harvey. It's very similar. What communities here went through, I didn't live here at the time, but hearing from people and working with communities, I know how hard it was, and it's funny. If it was the same, it was such a similar experience, what we went through in Houston and what we went through in Puerto Rico.
transition from the lab-based session to rehearsals for the final performance in front of an audience, anxiety levels heightened and the risk of boundaries being crossed became more pronounced. This was especially true because we were working with trauma. In such situations, some individuals' tolerance for differences could diminish as they might feel that they were compromising too much. The risk of conflict was real, but it had nothing to do with the intentions or attitude or the heart of the person. It was a matter of having the capacity of maintaining flexibility in moments of stress.
I am Lianiopia, spiritual woman, a tequina in the Concilio Taino Guatumacu, desde de Boriquen. So I am a part of the Pueblo in Texas. And as a tequina, I am considered a leader and a teacher of the ancestral ways. And in Texas and Austin, the work that I do on a day-to-day is as a reproductive justice advocate and activist. That includes being a doula and a student midwife. And so in my studies and in my life's work, I'm committed to the art of midwifery to become a partera, but also a traditional partera. So meaning that when my time comes to really be in depth with the studies, I would like to apprentice and live on homelands in Puerto Rico or Mexico and learn the art of midwifery in that way. I also share as a healer in my community. So I do many practices that are ancestral of healing body work with plants, and I offer yoga therapy for people.
My day job is Director of Policy at Houston in Action. We're a network of organizations that we seek to build people's ability to advocate for themselves, to vote, to affect public policy, to change systems, to improve the quality of life of communities of color, immigrant communities, poor communities here in Greater Houston. I've been an organizer since middle school. You could even say since elementary school. When I was in 5th grade, we lived in Puerto Rico. It was 2000, and civil society in Puerto Rico rose up against the U.S. Navy occupation in Vieques. I was 10, and I remember there was a weekend of action, and I remember making a flag saying Vieques Libre, Free Vieques, and driving around with my parents around San Juan with my older brother with the Puerto Rican flag and me with a flag saying Vieques Libre. So ever since I was little, I've been proud of being Puerto Rican and committed to justice. And here in Houston, first I worked for Commissioner Rodney Ellis, then I moved over to this organization, the Houston in Action. And it's what we do on a day-to-day basis, is provide tools, training, resources for people and organizations to lift up their voice and affect policies, affect systems.
Llegué a Houston en el 2009. Mudamos para Houston, fue un cambio total. Tuvimos trabajo desde el primer día que nos mudamos para acá. Después empezamos nuestro negocio de comida y durante todos los años no ha habido razón por irnos de Houston. Me encanta ayudar y involucrarme con cosas que tengan que ver con Puerto Rico y nuestra cultura, llevarle un poquito de nuestra isla para la gente que está aquí, porque hay mucha gente que está aquí no porque quieren dejar la isla, no porque no les gusta su isla, no porque extrañan su isla, sino es porque aquí estamos económicamente mejor, los niños tienen unas mejores oportunidades. Yo para mí es importante poder traerle un poquito de nuestra isla a cada una de esas personas para que ellos sientan que pueden seguir viviendo para acá y como quiera llevarse un pedacito de Puerto Rico con nuestra comida, con nuestro amor, con nuestro apoyo.
Hola mi gente, estoy aquí todavía en la escuela, estoy contento de que ya me aprobaron para poder recaudar las donaciones. Otra cosa que me puso muy contento en el día de hoy fue que los estudiantes me sorprendieron de su propia iniciativa a hacer unas cartas que quieren también enviar a Puerto Rico una vez con los paquetes y demás que se envíen y se recojan y hagan el proceso. Mis estudiantes son de Spanish National Honor Society y de la escuela Glendale Dawson High School. Escribieron estas cartas y estuve lagrimando y todo para cuando lo estaba leyendo. Son para Puerto Rico y me siento muy orgulloso de ellos. Quiero verlas, todo esto. Y pues la meta es poder recaudar todo lo posible y todo lo que está en nuestra lista y todo lo que podamos hacer para recaudar y poner una tarjeta en cada una de las cajas que podamos hacer para que cuando lleguen a Puerto Rico, aquí en la Aura, reciban por lo menos esas palabras de nuestros estudiantes que están trabajando para llevar un poco de alivio a Puerto Rico a algunas familias que están en necesidad.
This opportunity came up with the colectivo de grupos puertorriqueños in Houston, our group of activists and organizers, to protest against LUMA's parent company, which is actually headquartered here in Houston. You know, it's kind of surprising, but at the same time it isn't. Houston being the energy capital of the world, and the fact that by design, our electrical grid in Puerto Rico was so fragile, so dependent on fossil fuels. You know, we're connected through our experiences of Harvey and Maria, and we're also tied up in this toxic web of relying on fossil fuels, which is destroying the planet, as we see. So what a coincidence that we're here in Houston, we live here in Houston, and we can actually raise our voice and call attention to the fact that LUMA's parent company is here in Houston, and LUMA is exploiting people in Puerto Rico, overcharging for electricity and making people's lives harder than it already is. So I was super excited to contribute to that protest. We got some media attention. We also promoted it on Facebook groups, Puerto Rican Facebook groups here in Houston. And I was just so happy that I got to connect my story as a Puerto Rican to my job, which is supporting community organizing, inspiring people, equipping people to lift up their voice, to protest, to advocate for fair policies.
I believe that artists who also serve as community facilitators should support one another by sharing ideas and strategies for maintaining a safe environment and a tolerant environment during those moments of heightened stress. We find ourselves in difficult times. These are times that everything around us is crumbling. And we are navigating in uncertainty and rapid changes that are unfolding at this moment. And as artists or musicians and creatives, we play a vital role in helping people balance during these transitional moments. We are the shamans, we are the healers, we are the mediators, the openers of pathways, providing comfort amidst uncertainty.
La vida